Oh my gosh, that's so cool. You put the sound in.
Did you not notice it when we did the red carpet report too?
Oh yeah,
I did.
I was freaking out when that happened.
Anyway, people at home were like, "What the? That's like that every week."
Like, this is normal. This is every episode.
Hi, Allie.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Shannon. Shannon, how are you?
I am doing great. I have like this pep in my step all day today. I think I've been running Allie a little ragged.
That's just because I'm sick. My body is having a month.
Aw.
I'm just like crazy peppy. And one of those reasons, Sarah, was during Allie and I got to watch the Tampa Bay Lightning game at The Rock.
Oh,
and
no.
We were on the Jumbotron. Not once. Not twice.
What?
3 times.
Yeah, all 3 periods.
Wait, what? How did I not hear about this? Hold on.
Well,
I messed it up all 3 times.
that's why.
Okay. What do you mean you messed it up?
The very first time, before they put us on the Jumbotron, they put these like 2 guys who were a couple of rows behind us in these sumo wrestler, like these inflatable sumo wrestler suits.
Oh.
And when I realized they were in our section, I turned around and I was pointing to our friend. I was like, look at the sumo wrestlers.
Like we were fully like our backs to the camera.
Oh, man. Are you kidding?
And it took us pointing at the sumo wrestlers.
Yeah, so there's just a video of us on the Jumbotron pointing at the sumo wrestlers who are no longer on the Jumbotron.
Whoops.
Yeah, mad. The second time, I was not there.
Yeah.
And I was grabbing a drink or whatever. And I'm like waiting at the top of the stairs because the puck isn't playing nonsense. It's not nonsense, but I'm like, waiting.
Oh, it was nonsense.
Because the puck was in play.
Well.
And then I see Allie and our friend come up on the Jumbotron. And I was just like, that's my friends. But they're just talking to each other and they don't know that they're
And you
on
didn't
the
notice?
Jumbotron.
No, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, it was
We
so
didn't notice. We
bad.
didn't wave. We didn't cheer. We didn't
No,
do
they
anything.
were just like, blah, 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 just talking.
yeah.
It's great.
They didn't do that thing to you where it's like, oh, these people didn't
No.
notice how long they were
No.
texting. Oh, thank God. Okay.
And then the third time, it was the third period. And right as the camera turned to us,
Yeah.
I think play restarted and it was like half a second and then they cut back to the game.
Yeah. So I personally feel like the camera operator was messing with us
Yep.
and knew that we
He-
wanted to be on the
he-
Jumbotron and just was not going to give us the
They're
satisfaction.
taunting me. They know
Huh.
that this is something I've wanted for many years. And you know what else I've wanted for many years?
What's that?
For the Devils to get on a winning streak.
Yeah.
That would sure be nice, wouldn't it? But we're not going to talk about that.
Nope. That's why this is Hot Girls Hockey. Born in Jersey. Our weekly opinions on the Devils. There's no facts here because we analyze by vibes. All right, Allie. Can you bring us into our red carpet report of this week?
I absolutely can. And I apologize in advance because there's like so many pictures here.
I love them.
It's a mix mostly from the games against Detroit and Capitals, maybe? I don't even remember. I picked them over a number of days. Anyway, we're just going to start with the best. As per usual, I haven't really decided who I've decided. But we're going to talk about all of them and then I'll tell you which one is my favorite.
Wow,
at
yeah,
the
there
end.
are a few.
There's a lot.
Huh.
There's a lot.
I
But
haven't looked at them yet, but
I love it.
Oh, the last one. Okay.
we'll go through this quickly.
Excellent.
The first one we have is a picture of Brendan Dillon in kind of like a light brown suit with a white dress shirt, this like cute maroon tie with some sort of like, I don't even know what that is, like beige. It's not polka dot. What would you even call this?
No, it's just
It
some
looks
kind
like
of
coffee
pattern.
beans.
It does look like coffee beans. From when it's zoomed out, I almost thought it was like the shining carpet pattern, but then when I zoomed in, it looks like coffee beans to me.
I don't really know what the pattern is. I just love this suit, and he matched it with a color matching fedora, and it looks so good. And he looks so happy. Look at the smile on his face.
He does, yeah.
He looks like he's having a great time, and he's rocking this outfit.
I love it. It's good.
Yeah,
I
this
think
is
it's
an improvement.
It's the
from the
same
last
hat.
one.
Yeah.
Yes, the big difference between, last time we talked about him and his outfit with the hat, and it was not coordinated. The colors were too contrasting. The elements clashed. It didn't work. But this time, color coordinated, pattern coordinated, it came together, and I really like it.
Yeah.
Me too.
Next, we have a picture of Dougie Hamilton.
This photo, he looks like a model.
Yes, it's a very model-esque. And this is actually a screenshot from a video. I took multiple screenshots to try to get this one. It's like an action shot. He's walking. You can see he's wearing this like royal blue suit and with a black button down, and like the top button is undone. And you can, like, as he's walking, you can see like the inner like light blue lining of the suit.
It's a good suit, and just the color combos of the dark blue with just like such a black. Normally I don't like blue and black together like this, but this just works.
Well, that's why I picked it, because a lot of people don't do blue and black, but this is a combination of a royal blue and black that actually works together. So
yeah,
anytime
even for me who doesn't like blue, works.
Yeah.
Ooh.
All right, I changed my mind again. I still don't know which one's my favorite.
All right, that's fine.
Next, we have Paul Cotter. This was definitely the game in Detroit. He is wearing a variation of the plum suit that I'm going to call the Merlot suit.
Oh,
We're
yeah, I didn't
expanding
realize.
the universe.
Yeah.
It's
Merlot.
Merlot, yeah, because it's not quite maroon. It's not red enough, but it's not quite brown. It's like that. It's like that in between red and brown. Merlot. That's what we're gonna call it. The tie pulls a little bit more red. The shirt is white. He's got the Starbucks. He's wearing a Ferragamo belt.
It's all about the Starbucks for me.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. This is a good outfit.
It's great.
You know what would make it a little bit better?
The hat.
Yep. Yeah.
Hat.
The hat was important. I didn't realize how important it was.
Yeah.
I'm
Paul,
just saying.
bring us back the hat.
Brendan Dillon's killing it with his.
Brendan Dillon is crushing it with his hat. All right. The next photo we have is Brett Pesce. This is his first game with the Devils. The only reason I put this in here, he's wearing a black suit. It looks fine. The reason this is on the list is I would just like to draw your attention to the fact that he is wearing the same Ferragamo belt as Paul Cotter.
Oh, is he?
That's the only reason I put this in here.
Maybe they went shopping together.
Yeah,
There was a deal,
Maybe.
2 for 1.
I don't think so. I actually think I tested this out of curiosity. If you search like men's designer belt, the very first thing that comes up is like a Nordstrom listing for Ferragamo belts. So
That's hilarious. Oh my God.
it might have just been the advertising.
I'm also happy you put him on this list because now I know what he looks like.
Oh, yes.
I didn't know who this was.
Oh.
This is Brett Pesce.
Yeah, that's him.
I'm excited about the next one.
And then we have a group shot. This is also, I think, from the Detroit game. There's so much to talk about here.
Yeah.
Who do I even point out first?
Let's just go left or right.
Okay, left to right. Left, we have Nico Hischier, frequent face on the best dressed list. I was actually going to crop him out of this photo.
I'm actually glad you didn't. The action shot.
Yeah, it's fine. He's wearing a gray suit with a black shirt, whatever. He has his fuck ass white sneakers. I don't care.
I like the gray black combo though.
Yeah,
so,
that's
I'm not gonna hate.
And no beanie. A+.
And no beanie.
No beanie. Someone burned that thing.
Okay, I'm on it.
It's really funny because just like today before the Ducks game, the Devils posted on their Instagram account, we asked like a little like photo of him walking in, and they're like, oh, we asked Cap to wear the beanie again. And I was like, you're going to lose tonight. You're going to lose to the Ducks.
They don't get it. They don't understand the power
also,
that it
no one
holds.
wants that beanie. No one wants it. The people want to see his hair.
I like the beanie, but yeah.
The beanie's cute, but the people want to see his hair. He can leave in
wear
the beanie
casually. Don't wear the beanie when you're showing up here.
Yeah.
Right. I like once in a while, not every game.
I think it's cursed.
Might be.
I think I'm cursed. But we'll get to that later.
Next, we have Jonas Siegenthaler. This man loves a double-breasted suit.
Yeah.
And he also loves a slutty neckline.
Yeah. Because he knows he looks good in it. And
it's
he's
a good combo.
It.
Yeah, this is a great outfit. Points off for showing me your ankles. Put those away,
I
sir.
just noticed him and oh my God, they're both doing it.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't want to see your bare ankles. I don't know. Call me Victorian. Put those things away.
It is scandalous. There's something a little
let's just send the whole team like a box of silk socks.
Yeah, are they in
silk
need?
socks?
Because it can't be that expensive to send the whole 30,
certainly
however
can't.
many pairs.
Yeah, Carrot sent it straight to Newark to the Prudential Center. It's just a box of silk socks. And another man that will need them is Tomasz Tatar.
Yeah. Why are you guys not wearing socks?
I don't get it. It looks great though.
You want to know what I love about this suit?
What?
It's my favorite color.
Yeah.
It's that color. Yeah.
It's
that's really
green.
nice.
This is like a nice dark. It's not like a hunter green. It pulls a little more like jewel toned than that.
Yeah, a bit more emerald than that.
Yeah, it's a little bit of like a dark emerald.
Dark emerald for sure.
Love it. You don't see green enough in clothing anywhere.
It's true.
That's my
That's a
favorite
good point.
color.
Yeah.
But wear some socks, dude. Stop showing me your ankles. And then Shimon Nemitz is hiding there in the background. We can't even see his outfit. Whatever, he's there.
Yeah, no, he's there.
So yeah, keep on rocking, Shimon. So all of the people I've mentioned are in like the running to be the best of the week.
Wow.
This is tough.
You see why I had to put so many pictures in here.
Yeah.
They look good. They're pulling through the
They
outfits.
I've picked my personal favorite. I don't know if this is going to win against Sally's dictatorship. But
Okay. Today we might have a constitutional democracy because I'm between Brendan Dillon and Paul Cotter.
It was Brendan Dillon for me.
Brendan Dillon was my first instinct. The only thing that holds me back is I don't like the length of his blazer. I think it's a little too long and it could be a little better fitted for him. Paul Cotter's suit is perfectly fitted, but the hat.
There's something about that hat,
that
man.
hat draws to me.
Yeah.
It does.
It calls to me like a siren.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have to go with the hat. I think Brendan Dillon,
Wow.
best of the week.
All right.
Was that who you were thinking, Sarah?
For me, it was tied between him and Tatar, so I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Paul Carter gets Carter?
Carter?
I'm having a day. Paul Carter gets second.
Congrats to you, Mr. Carter.
Room for most improvement.
No.
Do we have a third or no?
No, I think they're all tied for third. The rest of them. But
that's fine. I'm not going to bother with that then.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah. A 7-way tie between Nico, Jonas, Tomasz.
Nope. We're not doing that. Nope.
Dougie.
These stats are already complicated enough. Nope. So room for most improvement has got to be this next image that I'm looking at here.
I was not going to pick this. I actually had a different photo and that I debated back and forth between these.
Interesting.
And then I've realized that this is going to be the new Curtis Lazar jacket.
That's what I said when we first saw this freaking jacket. It's those buttons, man.
It's the buttons.
It's those damn buttons.
Of course, we are talking about Eric Halla's fuck-ass Brunello Cucinelli jacket. I
love this jacket.
Shannon, I'm sorry.
I'm trying to Stockholm syndrome myself into loving it by putting it on this list every week. Eventually, he will either improve it and it will become like best dressed, or I will just go slip into a delusion and decide that I like it. This week, it looks slightly better. But the problem is like with the tan undershirt and the black pants and then like the medieval haircut, he looks like he should be guarding a castle. Like give this man a helmet and a pike or something, and it
looks like you should put some like pieces of armor on top of this. This is like the padding that goes underneath it,
like Lord of the Rings extra outfit.
Yeah.
Starbucks cup still here. He got rid of the banana, so points lost for that. Still buttoning that bottom button.
I miss the banana.
Unbutton that button. This jacket does not fit your waist. And button that second to top button. Oh, this is driving me insane.
I want to see this jacket open. Like I want to see how it looks if he just wore it open with like the
I think
shirt
he'll be
and
a
the tie.
triangle.
Okay.
I think it'll like poof.
It might triangle, yeah.
But I get, you know what? He could try it.
Well, maybe we'll see you next week.
Yeah. But for now, room for most improvement.
All right. I'm curious. Who's in this next one?
I love that you can't tell. That's actually hilarious.
Wait, really?
I have no idea who that is.
Oh.
So the Devils had their annual Halloween party.
This is a Halloween outfit.
They released photos. Obviously, someone has to get the semi-weekly special award for their Halloween costume.
Of course.
So my favorite of the Halloween costumes, there were a lot of them. Markstrom's looked cute. They had like these little, I don't even really know what they were. They were just kind of like blood-covered
I'm not sure
outfits.
either, but it was cute.
Shannon, I want you to like guess who you think this is because I think it's so funny that you can't tell.
I do know who it is now. I zoomed in.
Oh, okay.
And I think this is Jesper Bratt.
It is, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's the fake goatee.
The sideburns are funny.
That I was like, who the hell is this? I thought this just wasn't even a player on the team.
So Jesper Bratt and his fiance dressed up in the Wonder Bread race, like NASCAR uniforms from Talladega Nights.
It's great.
It's hilarious.
I love it.
I love the commitment with the fake facial hair. They look so good. I love this outfit.
It's
10
cute.
out of 10. It's so fun.
I agree. All right, Sarah. What is our weekly update?
Unfortunately, this week, guys, we are no longer leading at the top of the NHL.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
no longer leading the Metropolitan Division either.
No.
But it's all right.
Is
We're
it?
not. I don't know. Because I have a bit of a freak out in one of these games later, and then I mellow out a little bit. So,
Alrighty.
not sure.
All right.
It's too early to tell. So we're currently in second in the Metropolitan Division to redacted team name. We're currently 5-4-2 with 12 points. In terms of the league, we're tied for fourth, but at the bottom of that tie. So make of that what you will. And of course, this is obviously going to change because we do have a game right after we record this. So this is not going to be accurate anymore.
When is it
But
ever?
what else is new? That's fine. That is the weekly update. Elsewhere around the NHL this week, mostly silly stuff. Philip Gustafson scored a goalie goal for the Wild, and it was the first one.
I saw that.
Yeah, which is fun as hell. I love that for him. The Predators are finally starting to fight off whatever curse had been put on them. So now they actually have, I think, 6 points, which is surprising. But
They meet with the Devils in a couple of weeks. So that's great news for us.
maybe. Let's see. But they are starting to win some now. So who knows? Ivan, that guy that I mentioned last week or something, he scored his first NHL goal. I'm just going to keep bringing you guys news about him in particular, I guess, because his name is fun.
I think that like whatever's happening with the Devils, we can just become fans of Ivan.
Yeah. It's the Devils and the Ivan podcast. And this last thing is not really news. It's just kind of shocking to me that the Jets are still undefeated after 8 games in a row. I did not expect this whatsoever.
Of all
Did you guys see this coming?
No. Of all the teams in the league, this
No.
would not have been my guess
Yeah.
if I thought someone was going to go undefeated early in the season.
I guess there's not much else to do in Winnipeg. So
There's probably not.
Ouch. Well, compared to last year, honestly, I would call this season hot. And we're hot. And you as the listener, you're also hot. And if you want to show off your outfit ensemble at an upcoming Devils game, or frankly, any event that is an excuse to go out on the town, then you should use our discount code. That's right. Because we have a discount code. Hot Girls Hockey for $20 off your first SeatGeek purchase. We'll catch you on the red carpet. Well, let's talk about the games that weren't maybe as hot, but hopefully if everyone buys tickets to the upcoming games, we can all witness the Devils go on this eventual heater together. So starting off with Ottawa.
And this game was actually the hottest game that we had all week.
Yeah.
and yet I have no memory of it. It's amazing how quickly everything that came after replaced it.
Because we had so much more that happened that was more eventful.
Yeah.
And this one was kind of just like a nice, pleasant win. So it doesn't really stick out in the mind, especially the first period was completely uneventful. No scoring on either side. They came out much better in the second period. And I think they scored, I don't remember if it was all 3, but they definitely scored 2 of those goals in the second period from Holla and Bastion.
Elite NHLer Nate Bastion.
Yeah, Nate Bastion. He listen, he had a decent week despite all of this.
Yeah, it was a shorty.
Yeah, it was our first shorty this season. You're right. And then my main takeaway from this game for me was that, like I said, this was just a nice, pleasant watch. most of the scoring was still coming from the bottom six. We were still a team that had depth. And that is definitely not something that we are seeing anymore since they've made all of these line changes and, new people have come back in. And then the rest of my notes are silly.
It definitely seemed like the final game of this like beginner's luck that they were having to the start of this season.
Yeah.
It seemed like things were not perfect, but working. And then shit got weird.
And then shit got really weird.
Real weird.
Yeah, the momentum that we were carrying is no longer with us.
It got weird.
It did. Not bad yet.
Maybe bad.
Well, one of them was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. I like this first note.
Yeah, I don't remember what the context was of this. I think he might have actually been trying to call us puck bunnies just to be mean. But Roman was trying to say puck bunnies and said snow bunnies.
Well,
which is cute and
important.
adorable.
It is cute and adorable. We can be snow bunnies, whatever that means.
It's like a skiing thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Snow bunny.
Oh, I also forgot if Eric Holla was spelled with a C or a K in this one, which is good because I usually consider him one of my favorite players. So
Yep.
Don't know what that was about.
Yep. I think it's a K.
It is. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get into some depression.
Anyway, yeah, let's get into the depression.
Okay. Well, I don't want to call this. I wasn't depressed during this game.
Not yet. That
Not
came
yet,
later.
but it
This
is
game
the
was actually
beginning
kind of
of
fun.
it. Yes.
It was. Yeah. It was thrilling.
We overcame a 2-goal deficit twice, and somehow we didn't make it at OT. But to quote Bill, this has not been a clean game. This was a fun game.
Yeah.
It was hella fun to watch.
I like a game that's just like fun back and forth to watch. And this started out with some hype because October 19th is the anniversary of Nico, Jack, and Dawson's first ever NHL goals.
Oh,
And we're playing again on October 19th. So basically, each of them, I'm pretty sure like Magic guarantees you each a goal there. And Nico and Jack both did it. Dawson tried.
It's close.
I don't really know what happened though, or like what went wrong because I watched this game on MSG Network and they gave me exactly 2.5 pixels the whole game.
Oh, weird.
It was terrible. Like I hate MSG. Could make an entire podcast about me ranting about MSG. But yeah, literally I watched this entire game through like if you took a pair of glasses and rubbed butter all over them.
Oof.
It was you couldn't see anything. It was pointless.
Wasn't too bad for me somehow.
I'm glad.
But yeah, this was mostly a back and forth game, which it's thrilling to watch, but it's a little nerve-wracking at the same time.
The Devils were down. We were all feeling a little sad. And you know who flew in there to save the day?
Yeah. Our flipping captain
Hell
doing
yeah.
some captain shit.
As per usual, showing up to work consistently. Honestly, I think that's the only thing you can say about this game because the summary of the game is Nico Hischier shows up to work every day.
Yeah. And he got the record for the 2 fastest consecutive goals in Devils history.
Yeah, it was like
10 seconds.
10 seconds or 12 seconds or something.
Genuinely 10 seconds. Yep.
That's insane.
Insane.
I think it happened because he didn't wear the beanie that day. Just saying.
Burn
the beanie. And we felt a little flicker of hope, a little flash of joy that like maybe they're back in this. And then the Devils do what the Devils gonna do.
We were down 2 goals again.
Again.
It was like Nico just
what it's like? It's like when you pay off your credit card and then you're like, perfect. Now we can spend it again. And you're back in debt. They put themselves immediately back into debt.
Yeah.
And then they were scrambling to figure out how to get out of it.
But they did, which is something that they would have never been able to do last season. So that's good.
Exactly. That's I think the main difference, like this game compared to other games when we would like watch the roller coaster of the Devils. We only had one turn in the coaster. This time it almost took us for a full ride. And I really believed that we were going to do it because this game, we overcame another 2-goal deficit and went into OT, which I don't even want to talk about. I can't talk about it.
Well, and how they got there because once again, Nico in the third period hustled to get Dawson a beautiful pass and Dawson scored. Oh, wait a minute. I thought I said Dawson didn't score. Maybe it was Jack who didn't score. I'm sorry. of the three.
Yeah, no, Jack
Nico
did
and
not score
Dawson
this game.
scored. I'm sorry, Dawson. I'm out here slandering your name. I'm so mean. No, it was Jack. Jack was, but
That's
Jack
great.
was playing.
He was coming for the assist king title in this game, though. He was constantly setting up Bratt, and he tried to with Palat, but he's not pulling his own weight. But that's a different story for later.
Put a push pin in the Palat conversation.
We will.
All right.
Yeah. So it was Nico and Dawson who brought them within one, and then Dougie had a power play goal that was just like chef's kiss divine. It was one of those like really like classic, like just Dougie takes a shot from a distance and gets it and sends them into overtime. And I was having palpitations. I was excited.
I know. Right? This is the first time we go to overtime. I'm like, I think we might have it.
And even if they didn't, I'm like, oh my God, they pushed it to overtime. They got a point. Because here's something that I would like to point out. I'm not mad about loser points, especially if you like fight for them, because the 2022-23 Devils had 21 overtime games. I can't remember. I had looked it up and I posted this on Twitter. I think they won 13 of them in overtime. I can't remember now. But they did end up going on to win a decent amount of them in overtime. But not all of them. They lost a lot of them in overtime too.
Sure.
But they made it to the playoffs. And I think it's not a coincidence that that is a year that they made it to the playoffs, because you can get, not all the way, but you can get pretty far on the Islanders' strategy. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. We'll get back to it.
Yeah, we will.
But I'm just saying, getting the loser point gets you somewhere.
Right. Yeah. If we're going to go to overtime,
upwards,
that's fine.
Allie.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the lines in this game, because this is, I think, the first set of like mix smash.
Yeah, they started mixing things up here.
Yeah, of what we were used to. And I need to formally apologize to you that you were right about the initial second line. That when I said I think they were going to be the hottest line, no more.
For those listening, this is referring to the Bratt Hughes Meyer line.
Yeah, I messed up. I didn't know that Timo was this missing puzzle piece on the first line.
Oh.
That there is something about Nico and Timo together specifically. Timo needed the Nico motivation to do well on his line. I think there's something about specifically how much Timo is fulfilling the role that we thought he was going to fulfill for Jack. He just does it without hesitation for Nico. And I mean, protecting him, the hits, the blocks, just very first game, the first moment Nico got hit and it was a roughing penalty on the,
Caps?
Yes, thank you. On the Capitals, Timo just instantly threw his gloves off and started pummeling whoever it was. Like without hesitation. And I was like, I get it now.
Yeah.
They needed to be together. So and I think this theme, you could kind of see it throughout these games. I don't think these lines have as great as chemistry as we saw in the beginning of the season quite yet, because we were getting Luke back and Pesci, and we'll get into all of that. But
yeah,
I think now this is going to be the hottest line.
Yeah.
Timo, Nico, Mercer.
Interesting.
I agree with you. My one caveat is that I think any line Nico is on is going to be a successful line.
Probably.
Because I just think he is the type of player who makes other players better.
Yes.
I think you could put a potato on his wing and it would be the most productive line out there. Like, I think he would find a way to make it work.
We'll put a potato into whatever recipe that we are building this time.
I don't say that to take away from Timo Meyer, because I do think they do well together. But I genuinely think you could give...
Yes.
I think you could give Nico Hischier a toddler who just learned how to skate, and he would figure out a way to make it work. Like, it's...
That's what I guess a better way to rephrase. I think Timo needed Nico. Nico doesn't need Timo. Timo needed Nico to play better on his line.
Maybe that's a better way to phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I think we need to do with that line, though? Controversial. I think we need Bratt with Nico. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
I want Timo, Nico, Bratt.
Ooh.
I haven't figured out the rest of it yet, but I want that.
Yeah.
I will come back to this when I figure out what the rest of the lines should be. But that's the first one.
I like that one. Yeah.
Potter, Hughes, and I don't know. We'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know. Whoever you want. Bring
it out.
Seamus Casey back, by the way.
Bring Seamus Casey back. Yep.
last episode we said Seamus Casey called her trophy, and then they sent him away.
And then they sure did.
Yeah. This game, to say it again, it wasn't clean, but I loved watching it.
Yeah. And I was still hopeful.
I like watching the Devils fight. Like, it's just, and we'll see this later on too. Like, these games are not wins, but I liked that you could just see there's definitely a difference in the mind shift where we are fighting for every inch. We're not going to go out silently. All right. The next game, I was lucky enough to be in person.
Lucky.
Yeah, lucky is an interesting choice of
Lucky
words
is an
there.
interesting choice. Yeah.
This one, I think, was the most coconuts bananas out of this group we have here. I didn't write anything down for this game because the exact moment they gave up like 5 goals in the second period, nothing mattered.
Yeah.
At one point, our friend who doesn't watch hockey but will go to a random game with us was sitting next to me, and she starts shouting at the ice because we're pretty low in lower bowls. She goes, I think you guys should be on the other side more.
Oh my God.
Spending so much time in the defensive zone.
Oh.
And then she looks at the Jumbotron and she goes, what does that mean? SOG. I was like, shots on goal. And she's like, that's a bad ratio. Like, you know what? If even she can see it,
she's just telling how it is.
Yeah, forget the notes. There's no notes here.
There's no need for notes. That is it. That is the notes.
Those are the notes. Yikes. That's the only note. I do have a critical thinking question for you guys at the end, but tell me what you guys thought about this game against the Lightning Bolts.
Well, I just have one highlight, so I'll let Sarah bring this into this.
Well, the important thing going into this game for me was that this was part of the Frozen Frenzy. So I had set up multiple 16-game parlays and none of them worked, which was disappointing, but it's fine.
No.
But I was keeping tabs on every game as it was going. So like it was fun to start, and then Florida ruined everything. So I lost immediately, but it's fine. The other thing that was of note for me for this game was for practice earlier in the day, they brought Palat up to the first line and they sent Tatar down to the fourth line.
Oh yeah.
And my immediate reaction to this was, this is a bad idea. Why are we doing this? Why are we giving this opportunity to jump up to the first line to Palat, who was -6 at the time? I don't know if he still is, but it's probably not that much better if it is.
Mm-hmm.
And why are we punishing Tatar by bringing him down? And I was talking with Roman about this, and his thought was that it's not so much like giving more of an opportunity to Palat or punishing Tatar in any sort of way. It's more trying to get the Jack Hughes line, because that was the first line.
Yeah.
It was trying to get that one and the fourth line to perform better, because Tatar is a versatile player and he can work well with another player that you put him with. But in my mind,
I have a theory.
Palat is not the player that you switch out in this situation. Like I said a minute ago, I want to see Paul Cotter on Jack Hughes' wing.
Yes.
Not Andre Palat.
I have a theory though.
Okay.
Andre Palat played for the Lightning.
He sure did.
That was the team he was on when he won for both their Stanley Cups.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting.
And that's part of the reason why they brought him onto the team, was for this sort of veteran support, someone who's got this experience. I wonder if part of the hope was that he would be familiar enough with the Lightning's play and style that he could potentially counteract it. It clearly wasn't successful, but I don't know if maybe that was part of the thought process.
It might have been, because that does make sense. If anyone is going to have that kind of forethought and knowledge of how they play, it would be him. It would make sense.
I don't know if it worked though, but
no. I mean, we did see Jack actually score a goal in this game. So at first I was like, maybe Roman's onto something. But then by the end of it, I wrote, hey, remember what I said earlier about Roman maybe being onto something about Palat? Yeah. Never mind. It's gorgeous. And it's not Palat's fault. It's not all his fault. But I was so jaded by the end of this game.
Yeah, I can't say I'm the biggest Andre Palat fan, but I at least on the ice, I don't know. I've heard that he's popular for other experienced reasons.
Sure, he's a lovely person.
Yeah.
But I think he's becoming a bit
expensive.
An expensive weight on this team.
I do want to talk about the highlight of this game for me because we were there in person, Sarah.
Yeah.
It was the loudest boos I've ever heard.
Yes.
At a game.
Oof.
Ever. I don't know if you
Yes.
could hear it coming through the stream, but
I don't remember, honestly.
it was
And it was like a Tuesday, so it was not that packed.
It was not packed.
But there were some hits that the refs did not call. I don't really think it makes a difference with the way the Devils are playing personally.
No, that's what I have here. So the boos weren't for our team; it was for the refs, because there were two instances where you could have argued that the goals could have been disallowed. I don't think that means we would have won this game, but the score, rather than being like 8-5, I could have seen it. It should have been maybe like a 6-5. But the first was the high sticking call missed on Kovacevic during one of the face-offs, which was debatable, but it immediately resulted in a goal, and everyone's like, hey,
like delayed penalty, blah, blah, I don't know.
They didn't call it. But the big one.
Yeah.
That was so hard to watch was, I think they were on the power play and the puck came down to our side. They were
icing it. And
and Jake Allen came out of the net to hit it back, but the puck supposedly had bounced off the ref's skate and scored.
Yeah, so it did not on the review. No.
Okay.
It looked like it did, but
because at the moment,
what I saw, because I was looking away, all I saw, I heard the buzzer light up. I looked back. Jake Allen's completely out of net. We sit right in front of the goal. Jake Allen's completely out of the net, standing there looking baffled, and the puck is just in the net. And I literally thought they shot it from the other end of the ice straight into I didn't realize it like had kind of bounced off the boards or whatever. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, this is
it was bad.
How did it get to this point?
Embarrassing.
Yeah. I will say though, to Jake Allen's credit, he's had some like really unlucky bounces along with other things in these past the couple games he has played that we're talking about. But I do appreciate that he has not let it shake him, that he's still confident enough to go out of the net and like do what he does, that even if it's these things have gotten through, he's
I have
still
a question for you.
I'm just gonna play
In regards to that.
Okay.
Because this was actually a big debate among fans during and after this game. Because obviously the Devils did not, the final score was 8-5.
Yeah.
So it's not that the Devils weren't producing offense. They were scoring. 5 is a lot of goals to score.
Right.
There was a 6th that was disallowed because Holla punched it in. He didn't technically. So if they were clearly, you could make an argument that if they were scoring like that, but if they had been able to block more of the Lightning goals, that they would have won. And so this became a discussion of, is it a goaltending issue? And there was a lot of debate amongst fans about pulling the goalie, because I think we're all used to Lindy Ruff pulling the goalie. And
pulling
a lot of
or
this,
switching the goalie,
or switching.
Okay.
So
because Lindy Ruff would do that a lot.
This all fell apart in the second period when they gave up 5 goals. Back to back to back to back to back. 5 in one period.
It was rough.
So there was a lot of like discussion amongst fans of which goalie was going to come out for the third period.
Interesting.
And Sheldon Keefe was directly asked about this after the game. But I just question for the culture, for you guys. I'm curious what you think. If you were Sheldon Keefe,
okay,
you're going into the third period. What were they going to the third period? Like 6?
Not great.
3?
I don't remember.
Something like that. 5-3, 6-3, something like that.
Might have been. You tweeted at me about 6-3 at some point. So.
Yeah. Or it was 6-2 or something.
Yeah.
You're down and you just let up 5 goals in one period. Are you switching your goalies? Are you taking Allen out and putting Markstrom in?
I have an answer.
What's your answer?
Because it kind of relates to what I was saying about Jake Allen.
Yeah.
I personally would have done what Keefe had done and kept Allen in.
Okay.
I would keep him in because at this point in the game, it's just like to dig ourselves out, even if we did by some miracle. I don't want to like tire Markstrom out or risk unnecessary injury. And then also just to give Allen a chance to redeem himself. Like, I do think it's important that's building trust with your players, because sometimes in the past, Lindy would pull the goalie and sometimes I felt like it was too much or too soon. I do think there's a middle ground, and it's too early in the season to say whether he should do it more often or not. But so far, I would have kept him in. I would have kept him in to build to show Allen that I trust you. You can handle this. Show me.
Yeah. Sarah, do you agree?
My initial gut reaction was that I would switch them.
Okay.
But sitting here thinking about it a little bit more, I think that does mess with the morale, not just of the goalie, but with the rest of the team too. I think that doesn't help with kind of fostering a sense of being a team and working together. And I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily a good idea, but would I maybe have in the moment? Possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but I think there's a stronger argument for leaving Allen in. And I think a lot of fans would disagree with that. But if you're playing in such a way that you're giving up 5 goals in a period, you're not coming back from that regardless of who's in net. You're not.
You're
regardless
not.
of how much you're scoring. So you're letting up too much. And
you dug a hole.
If you're letting up 5 goals in one period, it's not your goaltender's fault. Even if 1 or 2 of them were his fault,
right?
That's an entire team breakdown to have that many.
Yeah.
So
calling back to last season, too many holes in the Swiss cheese.
Way too many holes in the cheese.
Too many holes. Yeah.
There's too many holes. And I think that then it becomes advantageous to switch out your goalies only if you think it's actually going to make a difference. And if it doesn't make a difference, I agree with what like Shannon was describing, that it plays, you run the risk of damaging the mental game of now you the goalie that you pulled feels like they failed, whether or not it was their fault, because it could just be that their team let them down or that the other team was outplaying them. And your new goalie that goes in is not warmed up, and now they're in the position of having to get warmed up really quick and having to like the insurmountable task of having to try to save a team that's been struggling for 2 periods. They're just not going to be able to do it. It's not possible. And so now you have both goalies feeling bad about their performance, regardless of whether or not they should.
Right.
And now they're both tired from this game, and one of them has to play the next game.
Yep.
So actually, this was something Keith was getting some criticism for, but I don't.
Interesting.
I wonder if one of the reasons why we saw so many of the goalies succeed, because they ran through like 5 goalies last season.
Yeah, they did.
It was rough.
We had Vitek, we had Akira Schmid, we had Nico Dawes, we had Kakkonen, we had
Jake Allen.
Jake Allen showed up at the end.
At the very end, yep. That is 5.
That's a lot of goalies that started off strong and and then very quickly began to struggle and play much lower below their ability. And I wonder how much of that is just the mental stress of knowing you might be pulled at any second and feeling like you fail if you get pulled at any second, but also being on the side and knowing you might get thrown in there at any second.
Yeah. It's
stressful.
I definitely think, again, it's like so early in the season. So, which I kind of like that. I feel like he's been leaving a lot of people. He's been letting people make mistakes.
Right.
To build the trust with the players.
And to learn from them.
Yes. So I think we're okay at the moment. I'm not ready to be like, what are you doing?
I think you're right that that's something that Lindy would be really quick to pull the trigger when something wasn't going right.
Yeah.
And I do think, especially early in the season when you have the time, although it's not ideal to dig yourself into a hole.
No.
There is something to be said for being patient and kind of watching how things are playing out so that you can see where the holes are and fix them rather than just kind of scrambling and throwing anything at the board.
It just depends if like 10 games from now, we're doing great.
Yeah.
And then it was all fine.
Yeah.
But if not,
then it's a different story.
Yep. We'll find out like 2 weeks-ish from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
All right, Sarah, you got to set up the ambiance for this one because you were there in person.
What's it like at Little Caesars Arena?
I did get to go to Little Caesars Arena for this game, which was a good little day.
Ooh.
Little Caesars Arena it feels very new. I don't know when they I don't know if they've recently upgraded or when they built this, but it feels very updated, I guess,
modern.
just in a general sense. Weirdly, very dark, in the concourse, in the hallways and everything, very dimly lit. I don't know why. It was a vibe.
2017.
Oh, wow. That is new.
It felt nice. The seats were very comfortable, but it did feel a little bit cramped. And I don't know if that was just because we were up
top.
a little bit higher. But it did feel a little bit more cramped. And I think that might also have something to do with the fact that the way I was describing these different styles of arenas when I was talking to my mom about this was that Little Caesars Arena is more like a soup bowl shaped where it's kind of curved in more at the top.
Yeah.
Versus the Prudential Center is one of those plate bowls that has the wider kind of brim. So it's a bit more open feeling, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So
I picture it much
Caesars
steeper at the Little Caesars. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible. I mean, at least we didn't have to go up. So I don't know. It might have been a little bit steep, kind of Madison Square Garden-y at the top, but we didn't do that. But overall, I liked it as an arena. It was nice.
Ooh. I have to ask you, do they serve Little Caesars pizza at the Little Caesars
indeed.
Arena?
Oh my gosh.
They do indeed.
Wow.
They also will throw Little Caesars pizza boxes out in the crowd. Instead of doing a t-shirt toss kind of thing, they'll throw boxes that are very clearly empty that probably have a
do you
coupon
get
to go get some pizza or something. I don't know.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Not sure.
Oh.
And then we realized this after being there that Little Caesars pizza is kind of thick, right?
Huh.
Yeah, it's
always been
deeper dish.
A deeper dish. And we've never had a true Detroit style pizza yet.
Oh.
But we realized that's probably what Little Caesars pizza is supposed to be like. It's supposed to be a Detroit style because it is that kind of just too thick kind
pizza.
Huh. Yeah.
I never thought about it.
Blew my mind that's why it's like this everywhere else.
Huh. Little Caesars was founded in Garden City, Michigan. I didn't know that.
Oh, well, it all makes sense.
Michigan pizza.
Right. Wow.
Damn.
So the intro before the game at Little Caesars Arena.
Do pizzas fly out?
There were no pizzas.
Damn.
They could have done the pizza. I mean, we could also do the pizzas, but we don't do pizzas. It's about a cyber attack.
Oh,
for some reason.
So they have a whole storyline?
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what the dialogue was going on because I was just kind of
interesting.
So baffled by it. But they had a little villain who they called in and everything, and he wore this mask that was kind of a cross combination of Jason's mask from Friday the 13th and the mask of the singer from a band called Sleep Token. So it's this white with these kind of red streak looking kind of things up on the top near the eyes and everything, and I was just confused about what the vibe was for this. Why what is a Red Wing going to do about this oncoming cyber attack?
Was Al there?
Who's Al? Oh,
the octopus that hangs in. Is he in the ceiling?
I think they only put him up for playoffs.
Oh,
I did not see it.
I want to see Al.
Yeah, but maybe. Oh no, I think the next one is in November. So I don't know if I'll ever see Al this year. And just being in an arena that is not full of Devils fans. It wasn't that weird. It was a little weird, but not as bad because people out here are generally kind of nice.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's not being in enemy territory in the tri-state area.
No, it didn't really feel like enemy territory at all, but it is interesting. The only other time I've done that was for a Panthers-Bruins game, which was a completely different vibe.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm glad the arena was nice.
What's this next note? This quote?
So we had people on either side of us. So we were occasionally talking to before we had spoken to any of them. Yeah. The woman that was sitting to the left of us, she recognized Nason. She was pointing him out to her husband. And And she goes, he's freaking bald though. And I laughed so hard. I had to write this down. We talked to them a whole bunch later on in this game. Turns out she knew him. Like she showed us a photo of him from like 2010. Wasn't bald then.
Random.
And yeah, they were just super nice. I don't remember what their connection was to him at all, but I knew him. We mentioned how we tangentially knew, air quotes, Jake Allen.
Our close personal friend, Jake Allen.
Close personal friend, Jake Allen.
He doesn't know this. It's a one-sided relationship, but
it certainly is. Yeah.
1 degree to Jake Allen. Alrighty. Well, shall we talk about this game? This game where the Devils outplayed the Red Wings and then
still lost? Yeah.
Do you want to talk about that?
Sure. Well, let's get into it.
Tell me about it.
I have one note, and I'm just going to throw it out there.
Throw it out there.
Allie.
Yes.
This game
yes.
gave me confirmation about your theory last year. Why Nico was just targeted and hit all the time. Because you said he's probably really annoying and just skates circles around the other team to the point that it pisses them off. And you were absolutely right. I forget which player it was, but there was like a huge hit on Nico, and the announcer for the Red Wings broadcast said he's been dancing around him all night. He finally got a legal hit in, confirming everybody thinks.
Yeah. Aww. No, I think Nico's probably someone really frustrating to play against. The Devils came out strong. They were playing the best they could. Nico, as per usual, was leading the team, and it just didn't freaking work. What went wrong?
Well, we were out shooting them by half consistently throughout this game, and yet so many of these shots were not connecting.
Yes.
So this is the first game that both Luke and Brett Pesce were back for.
Yes.
Did that make any meaningful difference?
No, I have a note here that's very jumbled because my phone could not correct what I was trying to say. But it is supposed to say, what happened to Luke and Pesce are going to save us? Bring back Seamus Casey.
I thought Luke and Pesce did well. I don't think they made like this massive difference, but I will know, I think it's in the next game, but Pesce just is really good at getting in the way of the shooting lane. I don't know if it was obviously not enough, and one person can't just like carry the team, but I did make a note, thought he was good. Could I be wrong? Could this be my revisionist history in my head? Possibly. Who knows? False memories. That's what I was trying to say.
It definitely seemed like one of those games where the Devils were getting frustrated with the fact that things were not working, and it started to devolve towards the end into some silly little scuffles.
Yeah, they definitely heard what everybody was saying after the Lightning game about them not starting some shit once the score started to be quite in a deficit, and so they started fighting back in this game.
I think there's lots that could be said about the fights that started to happen later on in this game, but I know Shannon has that in her segment later.
Just a small bit.
But yeah, I would say that out of this is really when they were kind of getting into their current losing streak. And this is probably when things started to feel a little disheartening because, that Capitals game, right, they pushed it to OT. It was a fun game. Right. So they took a point. The Lightning, that was a disaster, but it was so bad that it honestly became funny. I had a great time at that game.
I had it same.
At the
Good
end,
memories.
We were laughing.
It was awesome.
We honestly had a great time. It was good. So bad that it was just funny at the end.
That's good.
Was whatever. This one was a little disheartening.
This one was disheartening
because they were trying, and it just didn't work. And this is one of those games where people started to be like, "Do we suck?" Actually,
yeah. I realized about halfway through this game, and I became very disheartened that we were playing catch up to them the entire time, and the fact that we were playing catch up to Detroit. Even though we were out shooting them by a mile, and we were still not able to make that work, I knew it was coming. I knew the loss was coming, but yet it still hit me, it still punched me in the face. And I immediately wrote this note at the end of it. We suck. It's true. I'm sorry. Cooked. It's not happening.
Well,
We're not great.
I mean, that's the thing. They have too much talent to be struggling against this much against a team like Detroit. And some nights you're just gonna have less luck. Like there are gonna be nights where quote unquote worse teams outplay better teams.
Yeah.
But we outplayed them.
Yes.
And still couldn't make it happen.
And that can happen once or twice a season.
Right.
You
but
know,
after coming off of that 8-5 loss right into this,
yeah.
my mood was,
and they do this a lot. This is not like if you would look continuation last season to this season, it's not the first time they've outplayed a team and then somehow found a way to lose.
Oh, no, it's certainly not.
And right now they're really staying in it and trying to play through to the end. But eventually they're going to get tired of this shit. They're going to get sick of doing it.
Yes.
Yeah. This one, we also saw a significant decline in the penalty kill. At the beginning of this game, I made a note to myself to look up what is our penalty kill rate. I actually don't know what it is, but I know that I had been writing, I wrote a note in one of the previous games that the penalty kill was still solid.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and remember, is this still solid? By the end of this game, absolutely not. It was in the toilet.
Yeah.
And that's a shame. My other notes though, which are much more important, I think. Just silly things that happen around the arena. I mentioned Eminem for their goal song. They play the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme when Detroit goes to the penalty box, which is very silly. They do a segment about the hockey mom of the game, and they do a look through the crowd to find who's the hockey mom. I don't know. They showed a kid flossing while they played the Requiem for a Dream theme, which was surreal. And they always do Darude Sandstorm at the absolute worst time.
Yep.
That is a constant, a universal law.
At the lowest moment of your life, Darude Sandstorm will be there to just grind salt into that wound. Alrighty. Well, losses happen. Mm-hmm. You take your best, you regroup, you get on a plane, you fly back from Detroit to Newark, and with no rest, you hop straight into a game against the Islanders. How did the Devils come back from this?
Honestly, I was slightly pleased because this is on a back-to-back. And I mentioned this much earlier. I just liked that we fought to the very, very end. You could tell we were tired, especially in the third period. You can just see some of the guys slowing down. But I just really liked that we fought for it, that we will do everything in our power to use the Islander strategy against them.
Well, use their strategy against them. Yeah.
You beat me to this. Only note, no, it's fine. But I was getting a little frustrated by this point, and I was also a little sick this weekend. My only note on this game, because obviously, what you're talking about is they pushed this game to overtime. So they were able to take a point. It ended 4-3 Islanders in overtime. But contrasting to my earlier opinion on the Capitals game, the Islanders strategy only works if you use it against teams outside your division.
Correct.
You have to take both points from teams within your division. And where they have continued to struggle is against their own division on home ice.
Yeah.
Which is also just frustrating. Because that's the games that fans are going to.
Yes.
And it's kind of a little bit depressing to watch them lose up close and in person.
It brings the morale down for sure.
It really does.
Yeah. Somebody who does bring the morale up, even when we're losing. I just have to quote Allie. As you say, Nico is great.
Yeah.
No notes for Nico.
No, none.
Yep. It's just great.
This game, this team, they're nothing without Nico.
Literally.
I was just feeling very appreciative of him this week.
Agreed.
Everything that he'd been doing. He is single-handedly carrying this team. He, I think, is still tied for league lead in goals so far this season.
Nikita Kucherov that's a great name to be up there next to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he just always looks so exhausted, having to manage everything and carry the weight of everybody else. And he takes it so personally when they lose.
I can't watch.
He's not acknowledged enough.
Yeah.
I know
agree.
we like poke fun about, him winning all of our awards and stuff, but there is a damn reason for it.
Yes.
Nico is fantastic.
Yes. And I need this team to I need this team to bring this boy to victory. I cannot keep watching him give it his all and be held down by the weight of the rest of his team.
Hopefully he'll re-inspire them these last games because he's been so amazing and just going to win tonight because I need it. We need it.
Yep.
This man's blood pressure needs it.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
How was everyone else doing? McDermott was back.
Oh, yes, he was.
Yes, they healthy scratched Bastion for this game. I don't know if they gave a reason for that, but
no, they didn't. I wonder if it was just to bring McDermott up to bring McDermott in. I don't know why.
I think it was. I think it was because you're playing the Islanders, kind of a rival team. Bring in someone who's going to throw some punches.
Yeah.
My only other real note about this that kind of matters is just that I'm tied between two sides of thinking about this team after what I said, the last game before this, just about sucking. And then also just giving them more grace and more time to make all of their changes work because they have played the most games out of all of the teams this season. Even Buffalo, who played the season opener, like they still have played significantly less games than we have. And it's a challenging schedule and they're still figuring out things with, the new coach and the lines are constantly changing again because they're still trying to figure things out. And I know that takes time, but we have so much talent. Like you were saying, Allie, we have so much talent, but that talent isn't enough. And it's a shame that it's not, but it's not. So I'm very torn.
Yeah.
Are we bad? Do we just need to give them more time? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think right now that's like the big question. And I think that's the pressure on Sheldon Keefe over these next couple of weeks to months to figure that out. Because if you can't find a way to put these puzzle pieces together in a way that works, I think the logical conclusion most people are going to come to is that this current lineup just sucks.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work together. And damn,
Well,
what do you do?
See. I don't know.
What do you do?
I don't know.
Just when you thought you were out of rebuild mode, you get to
do it all again.
Teen Wolf podcast time.
Teen Wolf podcast time.
I'm not going through that.
Do it.
Well, we'll come back to it in a week or two and see how we feel.
Yeah.
Since we were just talking about McDermott, let's move on into our Skurcuffle Award because this is where we give Academy Awards to the most cinematic fights of the week. And can I just say, the Devils are getting feisty, and I love it. Almost all of these games, when a teammate gets hit, there's some kind of instant response, which is just so nice to see compared to last season, where I remember saying many, many times that Nico and Jack specifically would just get hit constantly, and there was no consequence for it on our team. I have two fights that I want to talk about.
Alas.
The first is it was Brendan Dillon versus Christian Fischer's at the Red Wings game. So I believe this happened after the whistle was blown, but Fischer finished his hit on Dillon against the board, and it was so hard, and Dillon didn't know it was coming that he doubled over in pain onto the ice, and Dougie comes rushing in to his defense, holds Fischer for a moment, and you can just see the smirk on Dougie's face where he's like, I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to tell you that I'm going to do it. But it didn't matter because the beauty of this fight was Dillon gets up and he handled it himself.
He very much had the energy no, I got this.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like,
this is my job.
I got it, Dougie. And he just wails on Fischer. And it was, even the commenters mentioned this, that Brendan Dillon just has so much height on him. So it was very easy to overpower Fischer. And I believe he won this fight.
Yeah, big fan of the Red Wings commentators, by the way. You just reminded me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They were delightful.
Mickey
I don't know.
That's nice.
And Ken Daniels. Yeah, no, they have a very soothing way of
Yes.
commentating that even when things were falling apart for the Devils, I was like,
Yeah.
I want them to read me like a bedtime story. They have very calming, maybe it's that Midwestern charm or something, but they got
maybe
just
very
something.
calming voices. And listening to them narrate this fight added a little bit of charm to it. I don't know.
It did. Just a quick mention, because we did talk about it a little bit when we were covering the Red Wings game, but there was a moment where all hell broke loose on the ice, and there were 6 men in the penalty box.
I forgot about
There was
that.
3 on both
yeah.
sides, and I watched the guy, because they couldn't fit on the bench together, open the door in the middle.
God.
And I think a 4th player, Red Wings
on the
player,
Red
went
Wings,
in there.
yes.
Yeah,
And
at one point.
it was like they were like standing.
That's my favorite thing to see when there's too many men in the penalty box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's in timeout.
And this was interesting because this happened where like the fight, we thought it happened, and then they went to a replay, but then Kovacevic and somebody else started going at it because words were exchanged, but then they decided it wasn't over. And this resulted in so many penalty minutes and so much math that whoever has to keep track of it, I'm glad it's not my job.
Yeah.
Lastly, I just have to mention Curtis McDermott versus Scott Mayfield during the Islanders game, because McDermott came back for one game, as Ali had mentioned, and he just executed his role perfectly because Romanov was being a jerk.
Little
And
bitch.
yeah, just going after everybody.
Jack Hughes
and,
specifically.
Mm-hmm. And McDermott has this beautiful, clean hit on Romanov. I'm saying it was clean. And it was kind of shocking. It sent him flying so hard that his helmet popped off. I don't think the whistle had blown because they deemed it a clean hit on the ice, but Mayfield came to Romanov's defense and chased after McDermott down to his own side. And they both throw off the gloves immediately because McDermott knows what's happening, but it doesn't matter. Even though Mayfield, it looks like he got the jump on him from behind, McDermott just quickly ends this fight, and Mayfield's only way to get out is to push McDermott backwards because he knew he wasn't going to be able to take any more hits.
Just ask Matt Rempe. McDermott knows how to throw a punch.
Mm-hmm. I'm grateful that we have him when we need him because he's a great fighter and he dominated that bout. And I'm just, it's early in the season, but I'm just giving away awards because I just want to do it. So,
Okay.
Brendan Dillon, you get Best Original Soundtrack.
Ooh.
This is an Oscar
Ooh.
Best Original Soundtrack because I just
Oh.
loved watching somebody fight for themselves
An
like that.
Academy Award.
And for McDermott, I would like to give him the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a television drama.
Ooh.
Why? I don't know. It just made sense to me.
I like it.
So,
You don't have to explain it any more than that. That's just what you have given them.
No rules here.
all right, Allie, what are the whispers on the Twitter wins this week?
All right. I got some good ones, some silly ones. I'm going to build up to my favorite one, actually.
Okay.
I hope it's okay.
Not really a whisper on the Twitter wins, but speaking of Matt Rempe, they sent him down to the AHL.
Yeah.
Bye.
You
Bye.
missed it earlier. Sarah and I were talking about it.
Yeah, we were.
Go listen to your Tchaikovsky down there.
Yeah. I'm sure he'll have a good time.
Speaking of the Rangers, I meant to put this on last week, but I totally forgot to. We've kind of missed the boat on this one. Everyone's already commented on it, but I just have to point out the Rangers cringy regular season winner posters.
Oh my God,
What?
that's right.
So you know
Yes,
how like
that
you have
banner.
banners in the arena when you win conference or division or
Yeah.
the Stanley Cup, blah, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Well, the Rangers decided to add a whole bunch of banners for the years that they were quote unquote regular season winners. Just means that they ended the regular season in first position.
okay. That's
So
funny.
President's Trophy, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's no regular season winner. There's not
No.
a regular season that's not a thing.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
No, like it's like I would love that as like an April Fool's joke. Like if it's just a one-time
no,
joke.
these are banners that hang now
Yeah.
in MSG.
They are there.
That's cringy.
Like the President's Trophy. That's
Why?
fine.
Yeah, I
Put
don't
that.
like.
That's
why couldn't they just call? Maybe there's a
You
reason
can just say that. That's allowed.
why. Maybe maybe NHL was like, no, you can't. I don't know, but that's embarrassing,
Cringy and embarrassing. Yep.
They should feel bad.
They should.
Connor Garland of the Vancouver Canucks is rumors flying across Twitter this weekend that he is like a MAGA guy, follows Trump and like Tucker Carlson and those guys on social media.
Okay.
Twitter melts down, and all I have to say is fork found in kitchen.
Yeah.
He is a 5'8" NHLer from Massachusetts. What did you expect?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
wow.
just like watching Twitter meltdown.
That is
I like hearing about
hilarious.
that.
From
Yeah.
Massachusetts. Oh my God.
My personal favorite Twitter response to this was someone being like, you know, the most shocking thing about this news is that I found out that Connor Garland is American.
Huh.
But yeah, NHL players continue to kind of be
I'm
predictable.
Not surprised,
You
guys.
know, that's why we don't idolize people we don't know personally.
Nope, we super don't.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then my favorite.
Yes. Yes. Oh.
John Tavares, Toronto
Okay.
Maple Leafs. Okay. He is currently working with Russell Brand, you know, musician Russell Brand,
Okay.
to sell these magic Wi-Fi blocking crystal amulets.
Uh-huh.
They're called Life Tune Flex.
What?
They cost $240, and you wear these magic little like blue crystal amulets to protect you from, quote, I'm paraphrasing, the evil energies from like Wi-Fi and phones.
They can also apparently help heal your injuries.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wow.
Which is gonna be really funny when he goes out with injury.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the amulet's not working.
If this amulet really works and blocks other people from using my Wi-Fi, sign
That's
me right up.
not how that works, but I love the enthusiasm.
Not what that means.
You could put
I
a
know.
password
I
on your
know.
Wi-Fi, Shannon.
But like, no, I do. I'm actually, it's
Yeah.
totally fine. I do have.
And it's a lot cheaper than this amulet.
Yeah, you don't need to
Yes.
spend $240 for that.
No, but I'm just like thinking, like, if I wanted to protect myself from the evil energies of phones and Wi-Fi, I would just go stand in the middle of a field all day. Like,
Good news. If you are interested in what John Tavares is selling, but you can't afford it, Shannon has a much cheaper alternative. Become a scarecrow.
Yes.
This will equally protect you and will probably be a more meaningful use of your time.
God, I love this story. This is my favorite thing. The amount of amulet memes that I saw and that I forced Roman to look at because I thought they were so goddamn funny.
wow.
And then the amount of people that were amulet investigating, like zooming in on all these photos of him, like in the Lululemon ads that they put out. They were looking to see if he was wearing the amulet.
Oh, great.
This is it's incredible.
Great stuff.
This is what the whispers on the Twitter wins for, man.
You know what I
Yes.
would wear an amulet for? To protect me from creepy guys at the Prudential Center. But I have good news for y'all.
Fair.
There is one particular, Shannon doesn't know who this is. I'll explain after the show.
Yeah.
But there's one particular creepy guy who consistently shows up to the Prudential Center, is known for having inappropriate interactions with minors. I'm not going to say his name here because he doesn't need more attention, but according to rumors that have apparently been confirmed on Twitter this past week, he is now finally banned from the Prudential Center. And we don't have to
Mhm.
worry about him anymore,
Wow.
He's banned from several other arenas too.
as
isn't
he should be. So those are the whispers on the Twitter wins.
Let's not worry about any of that because this is a segment where we don't worry about it because sometimes I'm saying random shit and the announcers do it too. We got a lot of good stuff this week and I'm just going to roll through them because we got quite a few.
Yeah, there are a lot here.
Yeah.
Yes. This is in no particular order this time either. First we have what the Devils have done well this season is Brett enters, spins. This is by Bill.
Yeah. He's
Word
doing
salad.
well at spinning.
Brat enters, spins. That is on the list of things the Devils do well.
Yes. I love this one because I also wrote this down, Sarah, and I was we've never had
That's
a
good.
double
Wow.
don't worry on here.
No, we haven't.
So I was satisfied when I saw you already had it down.
Wow.
Bang bang goals from Nico Hischier.
Just like I'm always saying. Nico Hischier.
Nico.
Soon as I heard
Hischier.
this,
Nico Hischier.
I was like, it's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Chitty
Oh, I was
Bang
thinking
Bang.
like,
I love this one. Geeky got dumped by Timo Meyer. I guess they broke up, guys.
Get him back on those apps.
I had to put this in here because this phrase was used
I didn't even do this one.
Constantly.
Bill.
constantly.
Bill.
But this
Wow.
one was the worst phrasing of it.
I'm begging you, Bill.
So I'm just going to put it in here. Squirting loose.
Bill. William.
It's brutal.
Oh,
No
dear.
more. No more. Dandy of a finish here. I don't know what game that was, but let's use that word.
I
love
included
it.
that
Love
as
it.
well. Love the word dandy.
Yep. I think we've said that on
Yeah.
this show, haven't we?
Yes.
Probably.
This is to quote Allie, something she said during the Lightning game. The little dog thing in Charlie Brown that plays hockey. And we're just going to move on from it.
I meant Snoopy. I couldn't remember Snoopy.
I heard a fan say this behind me also at the Lightning game, and I agree. Better than Real Housewives.
Oh, which Real Housewives though? Raisin
Yeah.
County? No.
Ooh, there's some lore for the
Don't
listeners.
worry about it. Don't worry about
It's
it.
never going to get explained. Never.
Oh, oof.
Next, I have, we talk about Meyer being a bull in a china shop for most of the year, confirming Bill and Dano are fully aware how they continuously compare Timo Meyer to a bull.
I don't want to speak for Timo, but if this were me, I would be feeling a little sad about this
I
one.
don't think it's a
he's
compliment.
a bull in a china shop. I know they're trying to say that like he's so good at that's not a good way to put it
Yeah.
either. That he's
But
so
it's
good
not nice.
maneuvering through that he has the build to push other players out of the way instead of weave around them.
Yeah.
But there's
Maybe.
definitely a better phrasing for this because he's
Yeah.
not like
bull in a china shop is an insult.
exactly.
It is.
Yeah.
So-
Like, he's not clumsy or anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll come up with a better phrase and we'll send it their way. The Devils need to inject some goals into the net.
Stat.
That's the summary of everything we just talked about.
Yeah.
And lastly, I died. This was during the Detroit broadcast, but one of the announcers said Luke Hughes is picked up by his brother Jacqueline.
I
Jacqueline.
cannot believe
Jacqueline.
they actually said
She
that.
said it.
Jacqueline.
Allie, were you on the broadcast saying this?
That was me.
That sounds like it.
Jacqueline.
I cannot tell you how fast I Googled what is Jack Hughes' real name. Because I was like, there's no way. You
can't be
just said
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Just say Jacqueline. So we're not going to worry about it.
Nope.
And move on into our It Boy of the Week. All right. Who's got a nomination?
Wow, this
I
is fun.
think
Because I got a
this
nomination.
is the easiest It Boy of the Week
It
we'll
is
ever
the
decide.
easiest
I know it.
It boy. Yep.
I think we can do the countdown and it'll
Yes.
work for once.
I
I
agree.
think we absolutely can.
Who's
All
gonna
right.
Who's gonna do it?
Let's
Shannon,
do it.
count us in.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Nico
Hischier.
Nico
Hischier.
Hischier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously.
It was so obvious. I mean, just everything that he did this week. The 2 goals in 10 seconds.
Everything.
My God.
Everything he did.
Standing up for the team, scoring for the team, leading for the team,
Mhm.
having great hair. I didn't even have to nepotism him into this one.
No, he fully deserved it.
Got there on his own. Congratulations,
And-
Nico. You are once again It Boy of the Week.
And that Peanuts quote that you had just a second ago, I can't get that out of my brain. So if Nico Hischier were a character from Peanuts, he is obviously Charlie Brown because he just looks so sad all of the time. I'm not supposed to elaborate, but it's just painfully obvious. So let's do another one just for fun.
Jack
But-
Hughes is the little dog that plays hockey.
Yeah, Jack Hughes is the little dog that plays hockey.
I was gonna say him or Brat was the girl who's angry all the time.
I could see Brat as her. Her name seems to be Lucy.
Lucy.
There's another one here that I'm looking at. Her name is Peppermint Patty, and I'm gonna say that's Dawson Mercer. Just
Yeah.
because.
Yeah.
What are we singing this week?
Yeah, maybe we don't have to sing.
Oh, okay.
Well, we can, but that just kind of started because
You
we
know-
were playing around with the microphones. I don't actually know how to sing.
Neither do I.
No, me neither.
Yeah, maybe we just let it go this time.
All right.
Let it go.
Let it go.
All right,
Anyway,
This has been Hot Girls Hockey. Tune in next week for more sugar.
spice.
and everything ice.
you like our show, please leave us a rating, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and tweet at us at hotgirlshockey_. You can also follow us on YouTube. Feel free to leave comments, reviews, whenever. Send some DMs. I'm bored. I'm still begging for a new group chat. Also, don't forget to use our code HotGirlsHockey, all capitalized. HOTGIRLSHOCKEY. That's how it's spelled. To get $20 off your first order at SeatGeek.com. Shannon, hit the button. Let's get out of here.
Hit the button.